Welcome to another edition of the NJCAA Sports Page. I'm Robert Williamson. It's all about defenses this week. Sure, number 1 scored 49, number 2 scored 52, 4 and 19 combined scored 83, but it was defenses that won football games last week. Let's take a look at the top 10 games. East Mississippi, number 1 in the nation, taking on Holmes. How about an offense that was not clicking on all cylinders, but still scored 49, being held to less than 50 points for only the second time this season, and for only the second time this year. Quarterback Chad Kelly threw for less than 4 touchdowns. He got 3, and the Lions garnered only 112 yards rushing, but EMCC put points on the board in every quarter while the Lion defense registered their 3rd straight shutout. The Lions haven't allowed a touchdown or field goal in 14 straight quarters. They forced 4 fumbles against Holmes. Justin Lucas led the charge, had 6 tackles, including 3 sacks. Number 2, Iowa Western taking on Independence Community College. When you put 52 points on the board, yes, the offense deserves accolades. Tay Bender opened up the scoring with a TD strike. Backup Zach Martin also threw a touchdown pass, plus 4 different running backs scored TDs. But it was Iowa Western's defense that earned the gold star, holding winless Independence to 118 yards rushing, 3 of 16 in third down conversions, picking off 1 pass and recovering 2 fumbles, one of which was a Rico Gafford fumble recovery in the end zone for the Beavers, the second score of the football game. By the end of 3, you had what turned out to be the final score, 52-0. Number 3, Mississippi Gulf Coast, 7, Pearl River, nothing. Mississippi Gulf Coast playing without freshman sensation Jason Smith, got a QB sneak from backup Thad Miller. With 2:14 to play in the first quarter, that would be the only points of the game, as the Bulldogs survived a scare and remain unbeaten and wins at least a spot in postseason. The score, by the way, came after Rod Sims recovered Pearl River quarterback Kalen Cooper's fumble at his own 1-yard line. Number 4, Trinity Valley taking on number 19, Blinn College. Blinn led 21-0 after 128-14 at the half, 38-28 in the third before Trinity Valley began to gain ground. The Cardinals scored just as the clock ran out in the fourth quarter on a 4th and goal from the 6. The extra point kick was good, and Trinity Valley, which averaged 66 points a game coming in, wins it 42-41. Number 5, Hutchinson and Garden City. Hutchinson scored 35 consecutive points before Garden City got on the board a half minute away from halftime, en route to a 44-14 win. Tennessee-bound Alvin Kamara had another 100-yard game, rushing for 132 yards and 3 touchdowns, averaging 12 yards a carry. Quarterback Dalton Demos and quarterback Kylan Blinn both threw for more than 100 yards and a TD. Meanwhile, the Blue Dragon defense picked off 3 Denarius Graham passes, recovered 3 fumbles, and held Garden City to 45 yards rushing. Number 6, Scottsdale taking on Phoenix College. Scottsdale got off to a quick start behind 3 TDs in the first half by quarterback Michael Sanders and led PC 21-7 at the half. When the Scottsdale offense sputtered in the second half, it was the defense and special teams that stepped up. Thaddeus Thompson winds up with 4 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. But talking about that defense, they produced the game's biggest play, a 96-yard interception return by Cloves Campbell that came on a 4th down in the fourth quarter. Number 7, Snow College taking on Eastern Arizona. Alex Kuresa threw for 239 yards and 4 touchdowns as Snow College overcame nearly 100 yards in penalties to knock off Eastern Arizona 35-14. 40 different Badgers got playing time as Snow improved to 6-1. And again, the defense played a role, a huge role, holding Eastern Arizona to 92 yards passing, picking off 1 pass, recovering 1 fumble, registering 1 sack, and recording 9 tackles for losses. Number 8, Nassau, they had a bye week. They're 6-0, got a big game this week we'll talk about in a bit. Number 9, Arizona Western taking on Mesa. Arizona Western used 264 yards rushing while holding Mesa to just 79 on their way to a 37-7 win. AWCC improved to 7-1 while using 6 different runners to pick up 264 yards. The Arizona Western defense picked off 2 Austin Apodaca passes, broke up 3, recovered 2 fumbles, registered 6 tackles for losses. Number 10, Central Lakes College over Mesabi Range, 59-7. It was a dominant Central Lakes performance as the Raiders had more first downs, 33-10, more passing yardage, 358-97, held Mesabi to 36 negative yards rushing and forced 8 turnovers, including 4 picks of Eric Lane passes, and limited Mesabi to 1 of 11 in third down conversions. The only Mesabi score came on a Chris Dixon 35-yard punt return in the second as Central Lakes College bombs Mesabi Range 59-7. It's this point in the show where we always take a look at an NJCAA football player who goes to the NFL. And this is an unusual story. A guy who is a freshman at the junior college ranks played quarterback and tight end. How often does a guy who starts as a freshman at quarterback or tight end become a 4th-round draft pick in the first round as an offensive tackle and then start 16 games straight in his rookie season? Lane Johnson started his career at a junior college, went on to Oklahoma. When he goes to Oklahoma, switches from tight end to defensive tackle, then goes to the offensive side of the football. He's picked in the first round by the Philadelphia Eagles. Where did he start his career? Let's wait and tell you after the break. At the 36-yard line, Jarvis Hall
awfully close. Kemp will wave and miss. Strikeout, getting over. The Royal team leaves the man at third.
Welcome back to the NJCAA sports page. Let's take a look at the top 10, how we rank them and how the NJCAA does as well. Key matchups this week. There is a really big matchup. We'll talk about it in just a moment. But first of all, number 8, Nassau is taking on Dean College. Dean College with a couple of losses this year, but they lost to ASA, which was a team formerly in the top 10, now in the top 20. They've also lost to Hudson Valley Community College, which is one of 8 remaining unbeaten NJCAA teams. So Dean College, a worthy opponent for Nassau. They've got a big one coming up on Saturday. But the biggest of all games involving top 10 teams, the number 3 team in the nation, Mississippi Gulf Coast, taking on Copiah Lincoln Community College, which, by the way, you might recall, was at one point of the season ranked number 3 in the nation. If Jason Smith, the injured quarterback for the Bulldogs, plays, it's a different team than if he does not. Mississippi Gulf Coast is already in the postseason. Question is, do they finish as the 1 or the 2 seed in the Southern Division of the MACJC? Copiah Lincoln, they control their own destiny. Win the remaining 2 games, they are in. Win 1 of 2 games, and they might be in. It's big, and it's right here on JockJive.com. Audio only, but we'll have the audio for you at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Let's answer that question concerning Lane Johnson. Big rookie season, signed a big contract, played with Oklahoma where he was very successful. Started his junior college career, though, playing in Texas for the Rangers of Kilgore. That is another edition of the NJCAA sports page. Quick reminder, we do this all over the country. Shows like this cover games all over the United States. If you'd like more information, you can email us info@jockjive.com. Go to www.jockjive.com. Check out all our games and more. Plus, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do all that on the homepage of JockJive.com. Until next week's edition, and for our executive producer, James Crenshaw, I'm Robert Williamson saying so long for the NJCAA Sports Page.